Okay, hello everybody. This is Ash from SwiftGrade. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be actually taking tests that are sent to me from real teachers, such as this one. This is an English language test as an example. This is the math test, and this is a science test. And we're going to be running it through and putting it through into the new SwiftGrade version 2. So what's the new SwiftGrade version 2? Well, if you look at it, actually before, our original version of SwiftGrade went and we needed to use either our paper answer sheets like this or our online answer sheets. But now with the new version of SwiftGrade, you still get to use these, but we have it now where you can take the stack of tests that are sitting on your desk. As long as you digitize them in any way using your school's photocopier would be the best way if your school has one. If not, you can use any free scanning app. Once you digitize it, you simply will upload it into SwiftGrade along with your answer key or your rubric, and then it will generate results for you. So I just showed you those tests that we're going to be uploading in, and that's what we'll do today. But I'll actually start off by showing you just some of the results very quickly. So if you click in here, you can see that this was the math test. And let's go down as an example to this question here, which had the frogs and the flowers and these things. And you can see that it was grading everything like this, and it breaks all this stuff down, which is really, really good. So every single student is graded the same way. So this is the math assessment, and here's all the feedback for it, process answer, etc., like that. Some questions, let's say number 8. Okay, so this is this question. This one is where you actually have to go and draw in apples into the tree. And then let's quickly glance at let's go back here and let's go into the ELA test and take a look at what this looks like. So for the ELA one, if I click into it here, you can see that um, you've got this where same thing, it's grading these. So this one, it said a red balloon, but it was supposed to be um, a big blue kite as an example. The playground was wrong. So that's why it graded these first 3 wrong. So this is just a little sneak preview, but let's actually go, let's delete these, and now let's start going and going through the process of how would we actually grade these. So the first thing, as I mentioned, is you need to digitize your tests. And that really is the hardest part of SwiftGrade, and it has nothing to do with SwiftGrade. So if you have a photocopier in your school, you can just go and drop the stack in, and that's really easy. If you don't, then it's a balance. How long does it take you to scan those tests into a PDF versus how long would it take you to manually grade it yourself? And even if they're similar amount of time, which I don't think they are, usually for depending on the test, if it's a multiple choice, it might be easier for you to just grade it. But for any other type of test, it's usually going to be longer for you to grade it. But even if you did grade it, would you be able to write that much feedback and all the other things that come with it? So let's get started. And let's start with the first assessment. Let's use, let's say, example, the ELA one. So you start on your dashboard. This is the SwiftGrade homepage. Once you log in, you'll click on Demo Class, Grade Assessment. If you want to use our old original answer sheets, it's here to create an answer key. So this is all available, but we're going to use the new version too. So we'll click on Grade Assessment. And then do you want to do a test and quiz or essays and projects? This is where the entire thing is graded against one rubric. But for today's purpose, we'll use the tests and quizzes. Click on this. And on this page, if you don't have any tests and quizzes on hand, you can download here our sample materials and upload it yourself. So you don't need to scan anything. You can do this literally within 3 minutes and try SwiftGrade out. But we do have these sample tests that were sent to me. So let's click here, select a PDF, and let's do the ELA one like this. So this is 5 students all in one PDF. Okay, so if you actually look, I'm uploading this PDF in. So you can see that there's 20 pages because there's 5 students. Each student is 4 pages. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the next student, this is Janice. So the main thing is that you get everybody into one PDF, all in the correct order. All right. So now that that is uploaded, you'll just click next, which is the pages per student. So this just says how many pages is each student's test. So each student's test is 4 pages long, which gives you 5 total students. And now you're going to click on review the question list. Now, this is the most important step because this is the source of truth that SwiftGrade is going to use to grade everything. Okay? So this step will usually take around, sometimes it can take one minute, sometimes it can take 2 minutes. It really depends on the length and how many questions are on your test. So this is just not grading anything. It's just saying these are the questions and these are the marks, and you need to confirm that so that the AI knows, okay, we're both on the same page. Just like if you gave your test to another teacher to grade, you'd tell them, okay, these are the questions you need to grade, and these are the tests, sorry, these are the marks per question. Okay. Okay, so now it's finished, and you can see if you go down this test, one of the things you'll notice is that here's the question numbers on the left and the marks on the right. This test actually did not have any mark values. So as I said, these are teachers that just gave me these tests. And that's fair. I mean, when I did tests as well, I also sometimes my tests would not have marks because I know the marks. But if you gave this to a different teacher, they wouldn't know how many marks it is. So you can change these if you want to 2 or 3 or whatever you need, how many marks, but I'll keep them the same. But as I said, this part is the part that you really need to be quite careful with. So you've got here 1A, B, C. So you just go through and be very careful that these match up. So 2A, 2B like this, 3AB, 4, 4AB, 4A, sorry, yeah, that's right, 5AB, etc. So I'm just going to pause the video and look at this myself. So this has here, as an example, it has 6A and B. Now this does have like 2 different parts, A and B. So this is just up to you. You know, how do you want to do this? Do you want this to be 6ABC, or do you want it just to be 6 as an example? So I think this should actually just be 6. So let's delete these, A, B, C, D. There were 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why it did this, but let's just make it 6 like this. Okay, and we can make this actually, let's say 4 marks like this. Okay, so each one of these will be 1. 7AB, 8AB. So again, this one has here, you've got 9AB, that's right. Now here you can see this actually didn't even have the number 10, but the AI was smart enough to understand, okay, this is 10AB, 11 is AB here, 12, fine, 13. And I'm doing this slower because I'm going through the video. If you guys did, it would be much faster. 14, 15 has AB, and then 16 here has A, B, C, D. Okay, let's leave it like this. Okay, so now let's click on upload and answer key. So you're done reviewing this. As I said, this is the most important part. And if you have simpler tests, like just questions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then it's going to be much faster. But this part is the only part that you just have to focus on. Now let's go and upload the answer key. So I'll show you what the answer key that I'm uploading looks like, just so you have an idea. So I'm going to click this. So your answer key can be anything. It can be anything that really, it could be a perfect test, or it can be something that just really contains the answers, or it can even be grading instructions. Let's say it was a free response answer or a longer answer. So I'm going to come in here and show you what this answer key. So this is the one that I'm putting in, looks like. So it's just only the answers really in this one. And I'm uploading it as a Microsoft Word file. There's nothing that you need to go and input and spend time into SwiftGrade. Pick your grade level, and do you want feedback and marks or just the mark? In this case, let's choose feedback and marks. And let's click send students for grading and click start grading. And that's kind of it. Now this will say, do you want to define question areas? So it's already grading. Do you want to define these question areas? If you do this, you can kind of crop out each of the questions. I'll show it to you on the next page in the results, but for right now, let's just skip this and use full images. Okay, so you can see this is grading. Now this will take time. It usually will take around, for a class of 30 students, I would say it takes about 8 minutes. So I usually just close the tab and come back. If we will email to whatever email you signed up with, we will email you the results when it's done. So you don't need to wait around. You can go do whatever tasks you need to do or take a break and then come back whenever you see the email. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video here. And then what we'll do is we'll pick up once we see that the results are in. I won't change anything. I won't touch anything. Let's look at what these results actually look like. Okay. Okay, so the results are in. Exciting. Let's take a look at them. So click in. And here it shows you every single student. You can expand whichever student you want, like this, and you can see what they've written. And you can do this for multiple students at the same time. So this is the first student as an example, and you can expand the fourth student as an example. So you can see everybody on one page. That's a really big advantage. So let's just take a look at the first student, and let's just see how SwiftGrade did. So on the left, you'll see the full image of the student's assessment. And on the right is what the AI did as its grading. And you can see in this case, it actually did a good job. So this question, it graded this wrong. It gave good feedback. Same with number 2. Same with number 3. Sorry, 1B, 1C, like this. You can just take a look here. I'll just scroll down to show you a little bit of the results. You can see that it's for these ones, because they're actually relatively simple questions, the AI is getting this spot on. And now this is our tab that shows all the students, but the most powerful tab is probably this questions tab. So here, this shows you every student's response to each question. So you can see there's 5 different questions here. Now the thing is that it doesn't show the image because we would have to show these huge images. But what you can do is you can go to edit question areas. So I'm going to skip through the tutorials. Okay. And you can see, let's go to question 1A as an example. So you can just draw a box around this, and I'll draw a box around 1B as an example, 1C. I won't do it for every question. And you can give more buffer, and you just have to do this for one student, then it applies that template to all of the students. And what this allows you to do is that then you can look at on this page, if I go back to the questions tab, because I remember I drew questions 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'll just show it to you here. You can see that now, instead of showing that full view that we had here, you can go to the cropped view, which is what you drew, and you can see that now you're looking at just that section or the cropped drawn box. And we only drew questions 1, 2, 3, so these ones have nothing. So now if you go to the questions tab, you can see that it will show you here what every single student wrote. So these ones were all wrong because this student wrote a bicycle, a skateboard, a red balloon. So those are all wrong. But these students wrote a big blue kite and a big blue kite, so they got it correct. The same if you go to question number 1B. These are what they wrote. And it groups them. So what you can do now is if you wanted to give a different mark or you want to give feedback, you can select the whole group and you can go and give a comment. Or maybe you wanted to give everybody, as an example, 0.5 marks. You can click here and change these marks. So the thing is that AI is going to always, at times, especially on the difficulty of the test, make some type of mistakes. And the whole thing is that the AI does the first pass of grading and it grades everything, but then you just quickly review it and make any adjustments using all these tools that we give you. It's not supposed to be where you grade it, it grades everything, you don't even look at it, and you submit the grades. You have to own those grades, and you do need to check. But the thing is that the amount of time it will take you to scan, check, will be less than generally the time it would take you to grade, plus all the rich feedback that the students get. So question 1, number 3, well, sorry, 1C is like this. But if you go to question 2, you can see now there's again no image available because we didn't draw the box for the third question, or sorry, the fourth question. Okay, So now let's go and let's do the same thing, and let's submit the math test as an example. So same thing, select a PDF. Let's go to the math one. This is 5 students here, pages per student. I think this one was 4 pages per student. And again, review the question list. Okay, so once again, this is the most important part. You have to review this, and you can see 1A to 1E. This, again, this is just all personal. So here, this actually, you could put it as just number 2 with 4 points, but the AI decided to split these into 2A to 2D with each point. So again, this is something you need to look at and just make sure it's clear that the AI knows what to grade. Okay, I'm going to pause the video and then go through this. Okay, so I'm done reviewing this. Actually, the AI made no mistakes here. So again, let's upload the answer key. This time, let's look at what this answer key looks like. So this answer key, I'm going to open it up here, is actually just a perfect test. So you can upload this as well, as long as the AI clearly can see what the answers are. Imagine you're giving it to the teacher next door saying, hey, can you please help me grade these tests? You just need to give the teacher or give the AI something to refer to. Now again, let's start grading. Here, now that you've seen the last test we did, you can actually right now define some of those question areas. So you can come here and start drawing these boxes around here while the AI is grading. Remember, you don't need to do this, and it depends. Sometimes tests are very long, and it's very tedious to do it. And as you're drawing, you can see it says draw the box for 2B as an example, draw the box for 2C, and so on. So it depends if you really want to do this or not. I find it's very, very helpful to do it, because then when I'm going on the questions tab, I can clearly be able to see what the students actually wrote. And sometimes, as I said, you can overlap boxes. So this is 4A, 4B, 4C. So I can actually just draw the same kind of area, because I know that it's going to just use that same area. So I won't draw all of it, but I'll kind of stop there. And then again, you can go away and come back once the grading is done. Okay. Okay, so let's look at the math results now. Let's click in. And once again, we can expand this down. And this will show you here the cropped images and what the AI graded. Okay, so you can see these like this. Now, with this as an example, let's take a look at this. You can see the AI actually made a mistake here. So one of the hardest things right now for the AI is really the visual stuff. So you can see that the common multiple of 7 and 7 would be 49 as an example, right? So it knows that, but it's having a hard time with this. So here, all you need to do is just click on this, and you can just, delete this feedback and say your answer is incorrect because, and you can type whatever you want, or you can just, leave this blank if you want. You can just delete the feedback and just change the mark here like this. And of course, you can go to the questions tab again, and you can, let's go to that question. I forgot which question it was. Let me try and find that. That was question number 4A. So you can come here, and we can assume that probably the AI struggled with that across all students. So this is for Lisa's 4A, Chris, etc. And then you can go and you can, adjust the bulk marks if you need. So this one they did wrong here as well, and this one actually looks like it was correct, so I won't touch that one. So let's just grade this one wrong. Okay. Also, of course, we provide all the averages, and the analysis is really good because with the analysis, you can see that for each question, how many students got less than 50%. So 60% of students, 3 out of 5, got a score of less than half on this question. And you can sort by this. So you can sort and you can say, okay, the worst questions were 2B, 2C, 4A. 4 students really got that wrong, and 0 got it partially correct, 1 student got it correct. So then you can say, okay, I really need to go and review this on my test as an example. the other thing you can do, of course, is go here. And once you're done, you can send students their results. Now, in this case, the students, they don't have, they were never registered to the SwiftGrade class, and they also do not have an email. So the way to do it is you'd click in here and you'd have to type their email, but that's very long to do for every student. But if you just go to our students tab like this, and you can click on add students, you can either invite them so they get a class code, or what you can do is you just add them manually. So just copy paste your copy and paste their first name, last name, and email. Then once you upload those tests, what will happen is that automatically SwiftGrade will try to match the student name to the student in your class list or your class roster. And once that happens, it will autofill here the email addresses. And then you can I'll just add one email address here as an example to just show you. I'll add the same one. Obviously, different students will have different email addresses. But you can then select the students, or you can select all students. But I'll select these two because they're the only ones with email addresses. And you can click send results. And then you can send either the final mark plus the feedback, or the question areas. You can also send them their test. And coming very soon, we'll also have where you can email the parents. So when you were on the student page, there would be also another column where you can go and add the parent emails. So that way you can really grade everything, and within the same day, send the results to the students. And also, even if you want the parents, we also have the ability to download all the grades, including you can download an entire PDF of the student results. So you can do that as well. You can download a grid results. So there's lots of options here for sharing and exporting, including into your grade books, etc., etc. All right. Um, okay, it finished downloading. So let me click on this. And this is what it looks like. So the feedbacks here, the images that the student wrote are here. And in addition to the images, we also will give them their test results. So this you can print off, or you can share it with the students however you want. Or as I said, you can directly email them through this. So there's lots of options to be able to go and share the results with the students and the teachers. Sorry, students and the parents. Now, the last one I'll show is the science test. I'm going to go ahead. I was setting that up, and I'm just going to come and submit this one. So this is the science test here. And with this one, you can see that it actually has even free response questions like this. So let's submit. Okay, and we'll take a look at these results as well once this is done grading. Okay, finally, let's look at the science test. And let's focus just on the diagram and the free response answers. So let's click in, and you can see it's quite a long test. I would imagine it would take quite a long time to grade all this. But let's focus on question 10 and 11. So you can see here for question 10, the AI really was good in the sense that it broke it down into each blank like this. Okay. And then also, if you look at the question 11, a free response answer, it can grade those as well. And you can see for the question 11 here, it gives a lot of detailed feedback. And if you look at the answer key that we had, so this was the answer key, and it said that the main thing was that it did not clear the orbital neighborhood. And that was kind of the main point in the answer key. And that's why it gave it half marks, because if you look at what the student wrote, they said it's because it's too far from all the others, plus it's too small. So those are valid points, but not exactly what we want. So you can go to the last question again here, question 11, and you can see that all of the feedback that the AI gave. Now, this was the same student actually, because I only had one demo test, so I copied it, and you can see it's actually grading very consistently. So each student got the same mark for the same answer, which is what you want. So in the end, the biggest thing with the new version of SwiftGrade is that you can use your existing tests as is. Whatever's on your desk or whatever grading needs to happen, if you digitize it, upload it, it will grade it for you, and that hopefully will save you a lot of time and reduce teacher burnout. And of course, for students will like it. They can get the marks and their feedback within a much shorter amount of time. They'll get lots more feedback just by the nature of the way the AI is actually writing everything out. Everything will be digitized for you, so you always have those records. You can see the class analytics. You can share this immediately with parents if you wanted to do that. So there's lots and lots of advantages to using this. So thank you so much for joining today, and I will see you next time. If you have any questions, you can email me at ash@goswiftgrade.com. Thank you. Bye bye.